Hey, peace, fam. This your boy Juro. It's Saturday. So last night, put that video out, and with all my videos that come from the heart, spoken into existence by way of by spiritual manifesting. But on a different note, because we live in a reality where it's about the dollar. I've been doing research in regards to what's going to play out with the stimulus package, right? And I'm starting to see a correlation in regards to that because, with everything that's playing out right now, if you stay the course by way of the government assistance, you'll be straight on the end of it. Now, he's saying, well, how's that possible, Drew? Some of y'all haven't received your initial check. It's coming. But doing a lot of research, and there's 3 proposals out there, family. 2 of them are for like $2,000 a month per person for a year. Another one is for $1,000 a month for a year, and they're also floating around with the rent for 4 to 6 months, which a lot of landlords are not feeling because they're not making any money. But what they don't realize is they're going to make that money on the back end if you're a landlord, because the government is going to credit you that, and you're going to get that money back that you pretty much waived. So right now the economy is to some on life support, and a lot of it is because we're mundane, because we want to get back into our normal routine. But actually what's going on, family, you're being required to change. You're required to go deep, and you're required to see what has value, what you need compared to what's a want. Now, from what I read, Congress is supposed to go back in session first week of May. They already have 2 proposals, because at a minimum the House has agreed that, hey, we're going to need some more money to jumpstart this economy. But it's going to have to go through the Senate. The Senate, of course, are going to chop and screw it. They're going to have their referendums, and then eventually it will make it to the president's desk. What does this all mean, and how does it apply to you? Some of y'all are going to be very methodical with your spending. And some of you, if you are, guess what? That's that extra that's going to go on top to make those jagged financial edges smooth but consistent. Some of y'all are going to sit on this relief and make that your springboard to maybe that financial endeavor that you wanted to actually invest. Oh, trust and believe, there are going to be people walking around with the intent that the money, said money, it is going to burn a hole in your pocket. Look, don't fall for the okie doke. Yes, it's there to stimulate the economy. That's what it's. But trust and believe, what a lot of people don't realize, your Fortune 500 companies are not hurting like you think they are. Reason why I'm telling you this is, any substantial company has default insurance. Think about your credit cards. When you don't make your monthly payment, they hit you with what? A financial charge. You got to pay your monthly and that financial charge pretty much as okay, because you were late, here's your penalty. All these companies have insurance to you as the investor, the investment. But they also know if not one person pays a bill ever, that already has been calculated as a loss. So guess what? They get tax deductions because of that. They also get relief because of that, because every business has business insurance. How does that pertain to you? If you allow yourself to be methodical, what you're not hearing people talk about is this is also going to stimulate your credit score. Because FICO scores are still going up and still going down, regardless of what's going on socially. You don't hear nobody talking about that, do you? Of course not. Because we're looking at it from a general viewpoint. So, for what has been put out there in the media, and of course you got to take it for a grain of salt. They're proposing the House is proposing 2 bills which equal to $2,000 a month each person. One of those bills is if you have a dependent that is 16 and of course a certain amount of money in the household. They'll also get that. And then one, as I mentioned before, let me backtrack. $2,000 a month per person for 1 year. So, what's that? It's $24,000. Then after that 1 year, because of the relief, it will drop down to $1,000 for the next 12 months. Now, these are all good intentions, but at the end of the day, as a taxpayer, fam, you know we're paying for that. I know you guys have been looking at it like, damn. The first proposal was $1 trillion. The second proposal that they signed the other day, or the other week, was $484 billion. So we already know the Fortune 500 companies are going to be straight. So if you did have any dead weight financially, that's all been forgiven. Now, I think I would be kind of having my eye on is that fast forward 2 years from now, and when it's tax time, they say, hey, look here. Did you benefit from said stimulus? They may use that as a boomerang effect. So, well, you did. So whatever your tax return was for that year, you're not getting it. That's a possibility. And I could be wrong. But what I have been doing is I've been, like a lot of you, watching what is being disseminated from Washington. I do it for a couple of reasons, because DC's home. But also because you as a voter, you should be aware of what's going on. You should, you know. But I see this happening too. Not to sound morbid. I see a lot of people planning, and I see a lot of people splitting up. Because once those stimulus checks start coming and it's becoming consistent, people ain't sticking around with each other. I heard somebody say yesterday, you're going to have a lot of quarantine divorces after this, because these 30 days in most areas, you're You're seeing the person that is your companion in a different light. Some of you have had your wake-up call like, really? No, I'm not talking about the habits per se. I'm saying deeper than that. And you're finally seeing the mask come off. And some of you are, and I'm not trying to say this to be mean. Some of you are scratching your head and you're saying, if I only knew. But that's all right. Anything worth value is worth investing. And maybe the greatest investment that you could ever bestow is communication by truth. Now, let me get back on this financial video. You know, you've heard me for the last 2 weeks talk about change, especially in regards to my life, as well as how that said change is going to impact everybody my life is connected to, directly or indirectly, which means you. But you got a lot of people, you got a lot of people that are scared right now. You got a lot of people that, you notice they're not talking about the stock market like they used to. It's kind of taking a back seat, hasn't it? Because they also know that the people that are proverbially the movers and shakers, they also knew that they just had to ride out just a period of time, and they knew that everything's going to norm out for them too. They're not going to take the proverbial hit as, Joe Ordinary. Joe Ordinary is Susie Regular. I included. They're not going to do that. But I thought I would share that for some of you that didn't know that when Congress goes back in session in 2 weeks, one of those 3 bills is going to pass the House, go to the Senate. The Senate's going to look at it, and out of those 3 proposals, they're going to make a decision, and it'll eventually make it to the president's desk. So, short version is this. Expect more money to come. And maybe through this whole period, you finally have had to look at things more. You have to scrutinize things more. And you're saying, okay, when I get through this, these are the things I'm not going to do. These are the things I need to do. These are the things I need to focus on. But just like every storm, it's going to pass. I highly recommend, family, keep your eye on what's going on these next couple of weeks, because it's definitely going to have an impact on you, your loved ones, and your neighbors. Your ship is coming in. Why? Because you're blessed. Now, before I go, I gotta be real. Some people are not going to see this opportunity, and they're not going to respect it. So keep your eye on that too. Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be like Mardi Gras for a lot of people. They're going to be, ooh-wee. Don't forget your health is primary. But watch how quick when some of these people start receiving this financial assistance. Just watch what they do with it. But I'm going to tell you this. Some of y'all, your life just changed. That credit score is going to do a springboard bigger than you don't know. Some of y'all are going to be saying, hey, I'm ready to buy a house. If you haven't bought a house yet, you're going to buy that vehicle. Whatever it may be, it's going to happen. And this stuff is going to play out for 2 years. But I highly recommend, family, if you don't know, Do the research yourself and see what's about to happen, because it will have an impact on you. As always, praying for you. Why? Because you're blessed. Peace.